Hello, and welcome to the virtual book launch for Mother Nature Eats Her Kind. I'm Michael Holding, Creative Director of Pod Creative, and I want to thank you for joining us in celebrating Neil Garvie's second book about the environment. Mother Nature Eats Her Kind is an exciting and important read. It is a collection of beauty and terror, turning up the rhetoric with probing questions about environmental abuses. As Neil says, Mother Nature is pounding at our door. The question is not whether she will survive. The question is, will we? The choice is still in our hands. Mother Nature Eats Her Kind is presented in a combination of scientific language and poetic style. The contents are an accurate and artful description of Mother Nature as both beautiful and brutal. Its message is delivered through a diversity of voices, including Indigenous, multinational, academic, layperson, worker, seller, and consumer. Finally, Neil draws attention to the interconnectedness of all life, and in the end, despite the challenges, reminds us that there is hope, always hope. So what makes someone an expert enough to speak authoritatively about the environment of the earth? Who would dare speak about such a sweeping topic? As a boy, Neil's mother told him he'd be of value to humankind for all his life's experiences, and he took this to heart, gathering all the experiences he could from that moment on. Early in his life, Neil became a snow shoveler, a grass mower, a newspaper deliverer, a grocery packer, a camp counselor, a song leader, a lifeguard, and a canoeing instructor. As a young adult, he became a laborer, a milkman, a trucker, a farmhand, carpenter, orderly, a gardener, a realtor, and a hot tub salesman. Eventually, he became a teacher, an outdoor educator, a curriculum writer, a workshop clinician, a school principal and university professor, a special events promoter, and of course, always through the years, a poet. Neil's academic background includes 4 university degrees in science, philosophy, and education, with special interests in critical theory, etymology, hermeneutics, and of course the environment. Raised as a Christian Scientist, Neil's strong spiritual side attracted him to Aboriginal naturalist beliefs. One of the greatest honors bestowed on him along the way was being declared Nichi Nehiau, brother, by Cree elders for his years of service to First Nations youth. Neil has always championed the right of expression, and while rarely outspoken in public, he is known for his courage to stand up and speak against the common view if he feels it lacks balance. Dr. Neil Garvie, learned, unassuming observer of the world and collector of experiences. By his own estimation, a jack of all trades, but master of none. Who is more suitable to comment on the bigger picture about the welfare of the world? No one. Just ask his mother. Finally, Neil's vascular Parkinsonism has slowed down his speech, but as you'll see, it hasn't slowed down his thinking. We hope you will purchase a copy of his exciting new book at $10. To order online, go to garvie.ca and follow the instructions. A portion of the proceeds from the sale of this book will go to support the ALS Society of Canada. Listen to the author and his wife Carol as they share reading selections from Mother Nature Eats Her Kind.
The title of this poem is Lost Kingdom, an Abecedarian Abdication. And there the king sits under white crown on a pile of rubble, striped fish dangling from his mouth. Bird of beak and bird of talon wonders, was his world ever here among the cadavers which now lay limp in sawdust and uprooted stumps? Decimated forest, strewn cut logs, all that's left. Was this ever his kingdom? These embryos and shells cracked and splattered? Did this feathered giant not build a nest, a kingdom? Now gutted, progeny undone, what was impregnable destroyed. High up he hears his mate calling for what might have been invincible, such a giant, one would think, once ruled existence. Now that judgment's fallen, kingdoms here, then kingdoms gone. Lost royalty in an instant dethroned becomes migrant, escapee, once more flees bad luck, misfortune as numbers dwindle, with another brood of offspring gone. Pride has nothing to do with survival. Quarry for the moment forgotten, he drops his fish. Raptor, unraptured, spreads his mighty span. Giant feathered fingers claw despair, tracing memory, and with greater effort than before unburdens, lifts with labored sound, veering toward sea and sun with his mate, westward, away from devastation, seeking fat, xanthic fish and yellow sun and zephyr breeze to the edge of a world where the forest meets the ocean.
Hi, I'm Carol, Neil's wife. He wrote this poem to honor my Ojibwe ancestors. The title of this poem is Coming Up the A Haggenish. The elders tell us the A Haggenish are coming, with their pale arms, clumsy boots, and nervous chatter about change. Change is hard to picture in this place of forever, where the wind whispers through pine tops, causing boughs to wave to the spirits, filtering just the right amount of sunlight for the mushrooms that rise after each rainfall. Here streams trickle over round pebbles until they are worn to speckles of sand, signaling the great stone bird to lay more, reminding us that everything exists in a circle. We are told as a Haggenish do not value such talk about forests and pebbles. We are told as a Haggenish follow instructions from books bound in leather, not seeing in the forest and stream bed that all life returns to where it started. Our people have always walked among the old ones, trusting in the Creator and the spirits. We have never troubled asking questions about tomorrow. But the elders say the Haggenish consider us lost in shadows of imagination after being too long in the forest. We are told the Haggenish believe the world can be bought and sold, that treasure can be found by clawing at roots, damming waters. They won't find riches under the trees or in wild mushrooms. We are told as a Haggenish teach their children that when anyone dies, they should dig great holes in the ground, allowing the dead to take all they can with them. Useless, all that hoarding. Useless, all that rushing to the future. Useless, all that nervous chatter. What would the great stone birds say? I pray the Haggenish will one day find contentment with the forest, the wind, the stream washing over pebbles.
The title of this poem is The Hunt. While humankind exists in another dimension, a world of minuscule cellular creatures, in watery deepness, in darkness, in light. They have no eyes, they have no brains, colorless, peculiar ovals, spheres, twisted bubbles drift, their muted pulses, microscopic life forms propel single-celled bacteria, protozoa fungi, archaeoflagellate clusters, transparent nuclei like galleons with ramming embryons. Euglenas chew green algae, blobbish amoebae, slipper-shaped paramecia, parasitic sporidia, cling, stinging hydra, inject toxins, simple-celled world. Yet in their masses diminutive plankton, seen from space spiral, turquoise oceans, far outnumbering, dominating, numbers their defense, predators, carnivores, carnivorous, symple-celled world. Yet in their masses diminutive plankton, seen from space spiral, turquoise oceans, far outnumbering, dominating, numbers their defense, predators, carnivores, carnivorous, symple-celled world. Yet in their masses diminutive plankton, seen from space spiral, turquoise oceans, far outnumbering, dominating, numbers their defense, hunting, being hunted, devouring, feasting, cannibalistic. In each moment, there's no rest in this world of eat and be eaten. There's no fairness here, only cruelty. Human sensibilities would be offended, gasping at moment-by-moment murders, executions. Whatever lingers meets death. Catastrophic decimation. The hunt goes on without us. In us. They are us. Encounters in a sea. Our corpses transitory.
The title of this poem is Between Those Times. And now that you can go north during a time when no one thinks to, between summer sun and winter cloud, in autumn, before yellowed leaves fly from their branches, while the scent of pine remains, be in the company of the foraging bear fattening before its great sleep. Watch the beaver slip across a pond before its farewell slap. In this time, after the hum of mosquitoes. Gone the black flies, wasps, and their summer song. The lake is cold, but can still be sliced by paddle, while pelicans still bob like floating baskets, and the loon echoes its sad goodbye. Between those times of nervous crowds and winter ice, waves collapse on deserted beaches, while billowing giants, too massive for the sky, push one another like shunting trains. In constant rhythm, rugged beauty, leaning trees in wind, each scene and moment left for you, alone, now that you can, go.
The title of this poem is Earth and Thunder. She's in her prime, an old woman. She is promise. She threatens annihilation. She's placid, a spark waiting to ignite. She whips air to a frenzy. She turns twister from stillness. She is the forest, the fire that consumes. She's fresh, rotting flesh. She nurses on stumps the dead decay. She is a tangle of earthworms, her breath, wild rose and skunkweed. She is silence, constricted. She's space, microcosmic. She is the desert, the insects dig under. She is the fescue, morning glory. She is the cedar and ivy that strangles. She rides on waves, the Sargasso Sea. She eats, drinks. She's always consuming. She is the earth. She is the thunder. She is birth, death. She's timeless existence. She's moments of wonder. She's eons passing. She's an old woman, a child. She is your mother.
Thank you for joining us for our virtual launch. If you like what you've heard, you can purchase a copy of Neil Garvie's Mother Nature Eats Her Kind, or his previous book about the environment, Silence Craves a Voice, online. Once again, go to garvie.ca and follow the instructions.